please welcome Bret McKenzie, James Bobin, and Todd Lieberman.
In the past year, there were two Hensons died sadly, Jane and John. I'm wondering if there are any Hensons still involved in the Muppets.
Yeah, well, I know that Lisa and Brian have seen the movie and love it, which is always very important to me because obviously of Jim's huge legacy to us. And certainly in the first movie we were filming in Los Angeles, Brian came to set twice, and he and I talked about making Muppet movies. In fact, he and I are now the only people who've ever done 2 Muppet movies, so I share that with him. So what his opinion to me is obviously very important. On this one it was harder because we're in London, so I didn't see him this time, but I know he's a fan of the movie, so I'm thrilled by that. And I was very clear in my head as to what we'd like to do next, and it's why the movie starts seconds after the last one ended. Because I felt that Muppets could kind of address the problem that Nick and I had, kind of like, what is the film going to be about and what's next? And I thought, well, let's just address that and do it in the movie itself. So you have the scene where they go, what should we do next? And then they sing a song called We're Doing a Sequel, and then, which Bret so brilliantly wrote. And it kind of addresses that issue up front, you know. So, you know, all the cards out straight away. So.
Was the original title for the film going to be The Muppets Again? Or was it always going to be Muppets Most Wanted? And did you think about putting Most Wanted in?
The film was originally called The Muppets Again.
Well spotted.
And so the first song, we're doing a sequel, ends with the Muppets all singing, "It's the Muppets Again," because we thought it would be great to, you know, the song to have the title of the movie in it. But then, well after we'd filmed it all, marketing decided to change the name of the movie. And so we tried going, "It's the Muppets Most Wanted," and it really didn't sit very well in the mouths of the Muppets, so we let it go.
Muppet films are never easy to film because Muppets have no legs. You may not notice this, but they have no legs, so things get very complicated wherever you go. So it's easier indoors. So you'll notice that a lot of work now is on stage, but what I love about Muppets in the real world is they live in the real world, and you create this sense there's a world out there whereby Muppets and humans happily coexist, which is my favourite thing. I think it's an illusion we all want to believe in. So on location, we always have to, the puppeteers perform on the ground. We have to raise things like door handles and various things like that to help us out. So it's all quite technically complex. But on stage, it's very straightforward because we then just raise the entire set 5 feet up and 4 feet up in the air, and the cameras come up 4 feet in the air, and the puppeteers themselves can then stand up, because that means they can kind of group together as closely as possible, and it means you can have nice group shots rather than being all far apart. So there's lots of challenges when you're filming Muppets, but you know, and the days can be very long, but at the end of the day you look around and you see these incredible characters behind you in a hole, and it's just really fun. It's a fun place to be, and it's kind of why it's so fun for the cameos. They come on set and they meet these characters they've loved all their lives, and it's just a lovely moment for them, and so it's a very pleasurable experience for everybody, it really is.
It'd be fun to see a Muppet film where you saw all the guys crawling around on the floor.
Yeah.
If the movie screen could lower down and you could see underneath the shot, it would be great.
Yeah, you were like showing our workings out, you know. So Well, for me personally, I always believe that Muppets have a great place in entertainment history. They kind of live in that world. The Muppet Show is set in an old theatre and it really works for them. So generally, I love the idea of making a movie with a huge number of references and just movie tropes, of course, just things that you remember from other movies. And it feels that it plays so well for them that when we put this together, I just love the idea you have this leeway to do that. And it's very rare to have the chance to do that and make reference to the movies you love. And that's what I want to do with this film throughout the whole thing. Like you see, Fozzie and Walter in the desert is like a David Lean shot, and the kind of idea that we have Swedish Chef and the Seventh Seal. Like that's a great thing you can do in most movies. It's just really fun. But it's very much a conscious choice. But also because I feel that, as I said, Muppets live in that kind of great entertainment history world. That when you do a musical number, it kind of has to be Busby Berkeley. Like why not? Because it's something I always loved, and Muppets is the perfect excuse to try it out. So we talked about the idea, and that the brilliant song that Bret wrote fitted so well with that. It just worked out well like that.
It was such a golden age for musicals as well. So I guess those years are so influential on us now because what they did with the videos and the films for the musical numbers. I'm jealous of that time, and it seemed like the actors spent most of their time doing dancing and singing lessons, and then they'd come on set and know all their moves, and they could all sing as well. Whereas now you're dealing with actors who can't dance or sing, but think they can.
But we love them.
But they're great, great in other ways. Having worked on the first film, Kermit sent me a Kermit phone, which is a direct line to him. So if you want, once you've worked on the Muppets, we all have these.
Yeah, I have these in my house too.
It's like the back phone.
What's the number?
He just calls me direct.
It's just one.
What is it?
Yeah, he flashes green.
It's numeric Kermit, I guess, 5, 3, whatever that is. Yeah, he calls up and says, you know, I need a song, a finale, you know, can you work on that, please?
The basic rule about Europe in this movie is a bit like Europe from National Lampoon's European Vacation. It's like old, you know, it's like old movie trope version of what Europe is. So in a movie from the 80s, the bad guy would be a Russian. And you know, the Constantine character for me, was, I talked to Matt about this, is always kind of based on General Orlov from Octopussy. That's my favourite Russian guy. And so I thought that would be a funny character for Kermit's doppelganger to sound like. And so it just this movie kind of feels like it's of that era, sort of 60s through 70s through 80s. That those places, you know, those films are always set like Monte Carlo or like Montevideo or Buenos Aires. So I thought Berlin and Madrid and London was such a fun kind of, that's the sort of feel those places have to me. So I felt that's kind of perfect for a caper movie, to have international locations like that.
It's a classic Cold War comedy.
I was wondering how closely you guys work together on the songs and sort of finding the right tone and finding the right sort of fit for the storyline.
Very closely. I mean, we've worked together for nearly 10 years now, so it's also a joy working with Bret because I have an idea and he's kind of ahead of me on it all the time, and it's very much a back and forth, whereby often it'll start with a title or a funny idea we have for a song and a placeholder in the script, and that's all it is, just like a title and a kind of brief description. And then from that paragraph, I'll give it to Bret, and Bret will come back with this amazing song. We go, yeah, that's it, perfect, thank you very much, let's do something else now. You know, it's like that, it's that good. And it's very rare that he delivers something I don't like. You know, it doesn't happen that often.
No, occasionally, but yeah, there's a bit of back and forth. So James and Nick would come up with the idea, usually, or the, you know, the moment in the film that needs a song, and then yeah, they'd throw it to me. Like, so the opening was, we're doing a sequel was the idea, and they had some ideas of. Had some good lines, like they often suggest lines that don't rhyme, which which is not that helpful.
We're doing a sequel. It costs twice as much and it's half as good.
And
Didn't make it.
and then so yeah, I just play around with it, and I guess try to combine the idea for the song, and also make it a song that works by itself, you know, which is the kind of challenge. And then yeah, play it back to them, usually just on piano, with me singing, doing my now quite extensive catalogue of Muppet impressions, and
he's really good now. Really
I can do Miss Piggy. I can do Miss Piggy quite well.
Come
so
on,
here we go.
come on,
guys. It's Sunday morning. Okay, here we go. So it's the piano. How can something so right? So and then which is an absolutely ridiculous job. That's my weird career.
On the new soundtrack CD, there are the demo versions of Bret himself sings.
Oh, there are, yes.
And they're really great.
Some of them you can't even tell.
The Muppets can tell. They're horrified.
I said you.
So yeah, then I play a sort of rough version, then we get together and work out the bits. James often has an idea that's visual that he needs, so we change the lyric to suit the visual, and then yeah, we sort of record it with the Muppets.